Hey, what's up, MSU Yu-Gi-Oh? We're here with our Week 5 locals. Grant, what'd you play today?
Today I played Spright.
All right. And how do you feel about the ban list?
It's peachy. Just peachy.
Wonderful. So, why don't you show us your build?
Yeah. So obviously this list is has an expiry date of 1 week. I am pivoting to Tri-Brigade Spright. We're going to see how well that works. But for now, we are running the typical Spright engine. There's 3 Spright Blue, 3 Spright Jet, 1 red, and 1 carrot. I'm not playing Pixies today. I don't think it's a good card, but I feel like it's a little too situational, and there are some other cards that I'd like to have in my deck instead. I swapped it out for a one of that's in here later. Additionally, I'm a big believer in 40 cards and not anymore. So I did not want to go to like 41 to have Pixies. If there was like a free card in this deck I wanted to cut, then I would probably put Pixies in for that last spot.
Is there any time you felt like you needed Pixies today?
I know the Mekanko stuff is like...
Maybe like once, but I think I was losing that game no matter what. It was against like branded Bystial, and it was like to out like a Masquerade, but I don't think I would have won that game regardless, so I don't know if it mattered.
Right, makes sense, makes sense. Let's see the rest of the deck.
Spell Trap line, 3 starter, 1 smashers. If you're running anything else, I have questions.
It's Spright.
It's Spright. In our Nimble lineup, we're running 3 Beaver and 2 Angler. And if you run 3 Angler, I don't know what's going on with you. We're also running 3 Swap Frog. I was on 2 Swap Frog for a very long time, and I believe that if you have a lot of engine in your hand, it's probably the best option. The problem is when you're going first, and you put out like your Elf, your Toad, and you also have enough engine to make a red with that, you will have 3 monsters on the field, and you don't have a monster to send for the red without sending the Elf, which you don't want to do because it's Elf. So what you do is you use 2 of them for your opening combo, and then the last one you summon off of the Totally in their standby phase. Plays around tactics because it's in standby, just gives you an extra body to send off of the red. I did not like this play very much. However, I didn't brick on Swap Frog, which is always my main complaint, so I guess I just don't know what I'm talking about. We're also running 1 Hyperia. This was the Pixies replacement. Sometimes if you like open a Swap Frog, when you have 3 of these, you're gonna open these a lot more often. And so when you have like a Swap Frog that you can normal summon and like the Spright engine that you're good to go with, you need something that you're gonna like want to summon off the Gigantic. Hyperia was that card for me, which is a draw 1. It's pretty nice.
Makes sense, makes sense.
Next up are just some power spells for consistency. We've got 3 extra Prosby. I always call this extra, and I don't know why. 3 Prosby, 3 Talents. Prosby in Spright, sometimes you just need to see like 1 specific card. If you have like a bunch of like a Spright, like a bunch of hand traps and 1 Spright in hand and no other level 2s, Prosby can help you get to like 1 more normal summonable level 2 in order to continue to start your plays. There were a couple times, 1 duel against Tearlaments today specifically, where I had like 4 hand traps and 1 Spright Blue, and I just really needed 1 more monster. And I drew Prosby for turn, and I Prosby to get, I believe it was an Hyperia off the top. Couldn't activate the Hyperia, but it was a level 2. The theory still holds. Very important thing that I learned today. You cannot activate Prosby and Hyperia at the same time. I did not know that.
Now you do.
The judge behind the camera called me on it. Additionally, you've got Talents. Talents spit a card out of their hand is just too good, and it breaks tier in particular. Not that that's something I will ever need to worry about again. However, for the next week, it'll be a contention.
Wow, bro, King of the Swamp's gonna make it playable.
Shut up. No, it's not. For our hand trap lineup, we've got 1 Called by the Grave. I understand this is not good against Ishizu tier specifically. However, we have a lot of rogue at our locals, and like sometimes you just want to kill like their 1 hand trap.
Yeah.
We got 3 Imperm. I really like Imperm. It's the best hand trap. A card that's almost as good as Imperm is Ghost Mourner. So I've been testing out this card, and to me, the cards that you really want to Imperm, the Kick Kalos, the Gigantic, It's almost as good to just negate them on summon. The Kikalos will activate on summon. That's when you're going to imperm it anyway. The Kashtira Fenrir, if they put it on the field, they could get another one on the field, but it's like kind of hard and a little tedious to do so. When you talk about like gigantic Spright, they already have to make 2 monsters into gigantic, so sending this to negate it is pretty good. They could make another one, but that takes so many resources that I just don't know if that's worth it. For that reason, and additionally, this can activate in draw phase, which against tier limits specifically, if you activate like a starter and draw and they like starter pull blue effect, they have Havness, and they're able to get Kikalos, you can activate this in draw phase, which is specifically why I like this better than Effect Veiler. You can also activate this under Shifter, which is a big advantage because everyone is playing Shifter, including me. We'll get to that. That's the hand trap lineup. Going into the next format, I have I have divine intervention. When the Fenrirs dropped to, I think, $50, I was like, I don't know if I want to buy Fenrirs. They're $50, or they might go down more as the ultis come out. And I thought, I want them, I'm going to buy them. So I bought them all. I bought the playset for $50. And now they're $70 because Kashtira is the best deck like next week. And I thought, great investment opportunity. Shout out to Nick Simon for telling me to do that and me for listening. But I'll probably take out the 3 of the next cards I'm going to show you, which is the Bystials. Probably taking 3 of these out for the Kashtira engine. Bystials are really good, in Spright in particular. With Spright, you end up with a couple of dark monsters in your graveyard that you're probably never going to need again. You're never going to need your Gigantic a second time. Probably won't need a Jet as long as you have your blue in the graveyard. There's a couple times where you have just dark monsters in your graveyard to burn, and so you can play a pretty sizable Bystial package without really getting in the way of your deck, which makes this deck a little bit better going into tier limit specifically than it really has a right to be. This deck is not really good at getting into tier limit, but being able to main 6 Bystials really help. The 3 Magnemite is just amazing. Limit this card to 1. I like 2 Druiswern. This is the Baguska out if you just Shifter. And then Baldrake. We were playing with Photon Hypernova today, and so this card was pretty good. The effect never came up. However, it almost did, and to me, good enough. It is better than Saronir, at least in Sprites. That's it for the main deck. It's a clean 40. Here's the extra. We're running 1 copy of Spright Sprint. You only need 1 copy. If you're playing more than 1, you are using the second effect of Spright Sprint, and I have questions for you. We're playing 3 copies of Free My Boy Elf. 3 copies of Elf. I ordered the 3rd copy like a week ago. It showed up this Friday. I'm upset. 3 Elf is really good going into the grind game, which is why they banned it. Every deck was abusing it. I completely understand, but I am just mad about it. 3 Elf is really good. You can just last forever, just using Elf to loop back totalies, even like turn 3, turn 5. It's just really good. Dark to steal the opponent's Bystials, and also like sometimes to just get a Shizu Shuffler out of the way, just very good. We're running IP and Unicorn. I'm not running Abramax. I don't like Abramax right now. I feel like every tier player is running, if not like multiple outs, a game plan to deal with Abramax. They know what they're doing in that regard. And so I feel like Abramax is less good at this current moment for that reason. This is contrary to Unicorn, where if you spin back a card on their side of the field, they might not have like an answer to that. If you spin back like I don't know, a Rise Heart or one of the cash monster that locks your zones, you spin that back. That's your zone's freed up. If you spin back Kikalos, they gotta make that shit again. If they spin back Rukalos, they gotta make that shit again. It's just very good. And also, like, usually in this deck, you'll have like 1 dead card in your hand just by happenstance. A starter you don't really want to burn because you'll have, like, we can reborn a jet or a blue out of the graveyard. So being able to get rid of that one is pretty decent. I would prefer if so if you'll notice, every link monster in this deck points downwards and to the left and right, and maybe like Sprint being special. So this is never co-linked, which makes me sad. This is also, if you don't have the Druisworm, but you have access to like a bunch of Boogaloo guys, this is your out to Baguska.
Makes sense, makes sense.
We're running 2 Gigantic. I've never felt like I needed more than this. If you need the 3rd Gigantic, you're probably not winning. 1 totally. It's just really good.
He's awesome.
He's just. I love him. He is my son. I played totally for the first time when I was playing Ice Barriers like a year ago as a joke. Oh well, he's great. I'm running Skycav. He's one of the suite of rank 2s that are just good with dealing with guys. Skycav, we have a lot of branded Bestial players that are locals. This guy's good for dealing with Mirror Jade specifically. Onibimaru, just good with getting rid of monsters temporarily. Sometimes if like a Rukalos is gone for a turn, that's all you need to deal with. And if you keep this guy on the field, you can banish him again next turn. And then Mosquito, I've never ended up actually using the real effect of Mosquito to put like counters and negate monsters, but he is really good for just going into Zeus specifically, and also he's a wind, so if they get the barrier statue up, you can go into him, throw the counter on the storm winds, negate it, and then go into Doubted, and then into Zeus. And because of the parentheticals on Mosquito, that will still be negated when you go into Zeus. Very interesting card design right there. Anyway, Zeus because it's Zeus.
Yeah, Downward and Zeus because it's Downward.
Yeah, like if you're not running Downward Zeus, you're not running. The side deck, I expected a lot of people to be on Kashtira specifically because it just came out and we were allowed to play with Photon Hypernova cards. So I sided in 3 Nibiru for going second. This came up. Never. It did not come up today. However, I'm happy I had it. We're going to save this for just a minute. We also have a lot of, with a lot of Bestial players, you have back row. With Flu, you have back row. I just like Lightning Storm as like an all-purpose back row out. Then we've got these, which is the going first package. I like to side in 1 copy of Double Cross for going first. This is your 3rd Toad Negate, and I think this is a bit of a better summon off of, bit of a better search off of Jet, which is why I like to run it. Additionally, with the Anti-Spell Fragrance, this deck loses really hard to Dark Ruler no more, and I know people are cutting it, but it's not really something I want to deal with either way, and a lot of people who are locals are still running it. So I really don't want to deal with that. There have been many games where I flip Anti-Spell, they concede, show me their hand, and it has Dark Ruler in it. And I found my way out of the situation. It also feels really good to Prosby and find this off the Prosby. And then Resonator, because...
Time!
No, it's a wonderful extender. What are you talking about? And then my favorite aspect of this deck is the Gamma Burst plus Shifter. So... Tear Lament is a thing, and this deck does not have a particularly good matchup against Tear Lament. It's actually very hard, which is why you want to main up to 6 Bestials, and which is why you want a side deck Shifter. Something that's going to probably come out in the next version of the deck, but the best thing that they could probably do is make Baguska, and if they make Baguska, like, you out the Baguska with like a Druid Word or something, you go your usual routes, and then you can use Gamma Burst in order to just Oko your opponents. Gamma Burst, funny little card. It's the worst Spright spell trap, but it gives all of your level, rank, and link 2 monsters 1400. Which means if you have just an open field and are told to go second, and they have nothing with the shifter, you like starter, you put blue on the field, you put jet on the field, you make gigantic, you go gigantic into something, maybe you have another extended hand. You can do this on the Nimble Beaver package as well. If you can get 3 guys on the field with 1,000 attack, that is game right there. I think within a margin of error, that is game. It's very interesting. There is one guy at our locals who I have only ever beat when he was on tier, and I was on Spright because of the Gamma Burst shenanigans. It's very nice, and I like this deck a lot. And that's the entire thing.
Well, thank you very much. Anyone you want to give shout-outs to?
Shout-outs to my boys from back home, that being Connor Matthews, Nathan Gerchak, and Noah Peltier for helping me build this deck, and for undoubtedly in the next... the second I get home, helping me build Spright after the ban list.
Nice. Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
We do have to give our shout out to Legends Sports and Games. Thank you very much for a box of amazing defenders. And yeah, thank you very much. We will see you guys later.